Here is Sub-Zero! Now, Plane Zero!
Hello everyone, this is Pico Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you, and this will be a recent subscriber movie request who has asked me to look back and review the science fiction actioner The Running Man. Released on November the 13th 1987, it stars Arnold Schwarzenegger, Yaphet Kotto, Conchita Alonso, Richard Dawson, and it was directed by Paul Michael Glaser. It's loosely based on a 1982 novel of the same name written by acclaimed author Stephen King. Now, the setup of The Running Man is that we are set in a dystopian future of 2017 where the United States is under totalarian rule following the collapse of the economy. The government tries to appease the unrest within society by broadcasting a reality TV style violent gladiatorial contests where convicted criminals are hunted down by trained warriors under the guise of release if they survive the combat. We see helicopter pilot Ben Richards, who is framed for murdering 60 civilians in a food riot in Bakersfield after refusing orders to eliminate them. Imprisoned for 18 months within a labour camp, Richards teams up with other convicts to try and escape. He eventually takes refuge in an LA apartment but is soon identified and arrested. Damon Killian, the host of the TV combat series The Running Man, is impressed by Richards' performance when escaping and ends up enlisting him within the Running Man programme. Killian hopes Richards' abilities will provide great combat and boost ratings. Teaming up with other prisoners, Richards excels in the games by eliminating the warrior assassins. His continued success alongside his Butcher of Bakersfield status gains him favour amongst viewers. Whilst ratings continue to increase, Killian is pressured by the government who don't want convicts to succeed and win the overall programme. As Richard continually fights for his life, he also aids a resistant group looking to expose the series and the government rule over society. Now, when looking back on The Running Man, it's one of those guilty pleasures, very much a lower budget in terms of the 80s actioners, but it still manages to have a lot of that rewatchability despite its clear flaws. I've seen this movie so many times and will always watch it whenever there's nothing else on, and that was really the appeal of so many of Schwarzenegger's movies throughout the 80s. It has more of that tacky, schlocky feel to it, completely unashamed in its tone, but in many ways that's what adds to its overall appeal. Yes, there are elements of society manipulation through entertainment, audiences' lust for violence and combat, a certain satirical commentary over economic unrest, but to be honest, these are just broadly touched on in what is essentially a Schwarzenegger action vehicle. And of course, in the lead role, Schwarzenegger is the prime reason for watching this film. Alongside Predator, which was also released in 1987, this was the real screen persona of the actor coming through. You didn't really care about the greatest acting performance, you're just watching a charismatic, unique presence on screen, and that's very much what Arnold had with all of those puns and lines and dialogue that we see throughout this movie, and this is really what was his charm, and this is why you watched him alongside the physical presence, of course, which is always convincing during the action sequences. But it isn't necessarily just about Arnold, and within this film, Conchita Alonso is decent enough as the main female role, playing Amber, who finds herself caught up in Richard's quests eventually within the running game series. And of course, we would become far more familiar with the actress when she played the cop known as Leona in the Great Predator 2 sequel. But the movie's best performance has to go to Richard Dawson as Killian. He's a typical ruthless, cynical executive who only cares about the ratings and nothing about the morals. Now, he does have that charismatic bravado, and whilst being the villain of the piece, he still remains very watchable and likeable, and overall he does add a lot of extra value to the overall movie itself. So if I had to give an overall more critical score of The Running Man, I would give it a 6.7 out of 10. And when looking at the box office release of the movie, it was overall a moderate success, grossing 38 million in the US on a budget of around 20 million. So perhaps it was seen as somewhat a disappointment, especially after the iconic success of Predator that was released earlier on within the year. And despite always enjoying the movie, I think overall this is very much of a mid-tier entry in Schwarzenegger's filmography, probably on the same level of the likes of Red Heat and Raw Deal, and obviously a few steps down from the uber classics of Predator, The Terminator and also Total Recall. But despite this, it still remains entertaining enough, always great again if there's nothing else to watch on a Friday night, and even having watched the film several times after all these years, I would still recommend The Running Man if you're just after that undemanding, fun 80s actioner, very much a guilty pleasure overall within Arnold Schwarzenegger's career. So those are my overall thoughts and feelings and review of The Running Man. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've seen it, where do you think it ranks within the huge canon of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies? And if you'd like to see me review any other movies within Arnold's career, then let me know in the comments and I'll see if I can provide further reviews like that in the future. And if there are any other topics such as movies or television series or even current issues in general within the entertainment industry, then also let me know if you'd like to see me cover these topics, and I will see if I can provide further commentary for you within the future on the channel. Please also hit the subscription and notification buttons so I can provide you with more high quality content like this in the future. But that's it for now. Take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.